Welcome to my channel. I would say welcome back, but it's welcome to everyone because this is new. I've never done it before, and it's my debut video to AuthorTube. So, hi, my name is Andy. Welcome to my channel. I am a writer from Michigan originally. I currently live in Illinois, and I have just been a part of the YouTube community observing other authors for a while, and it just looks like a lot of fun, and I want to jump in. So anyway, this is a video all about where I'm at right now with my current work in progress, the drafting process for the end of it, and already daydreaming about revisions and all those things. So I kind of wanted to just loop you guys in with where I'm at right now, and then talk about my goals for the next few months and where I think it's all headed. So let's get started. So about 5 months ago, I was doing the dishes and randomly got an entire timeline in my head of a whole story, like a whole story arc and everything. And so I really quickly finished the dishes, ran upstairs, got this notebook, and just so roughly drafted an entire novel. Shortly after that, I started writing, and it's just been flowing ever since. So I've been writing about 10,000 words a month. I started about 5 months ago, and I'm at 51,000 right now. I'm definitely like an all or nothing writer. I feel like it's either a drought or a rainstorm. So there's days when I feel like I write nothing, or I don't touch the book for like a week because I just like need a break for creative process and thinking. And then there's other days where I write 4,500 words and it just like comes out. So with that being said, I feel like I'm at the point of the story where I've finished part 1 and part 2 so far. So I'm at like 24 chapters right now, and I am done with part 1 and part 2 and just feeling like part 3 is where I'm stumped the most. I have a clear vision for how I want the book to end, and I'm not at all lacking like vision for where it's going to go, but it feels like my mind is already starting to shift towards revision. And so I'm having a hard time staying motivated to get the end done without wanting to go back and start to change things and add depth and like make my world building better and everything. So my current work in progress is a kind of romantasy series. And oh, Bennett, this is my dog Bennett. He was gonna, no, it's okay. He's growling at the neighbor dogs. So anyway, my current work in progress is a romantasy kind of series. I'm planning on it being a, Bennett. I'm planning on it being a 3-book series. And right now I'm already like, just like I'm already daydreaming for the revisions of the first book, I'm also already starting to like live in book 2 in my head. So I need to like buckle down and just find a way to get through book 1 before I get ahead of myself. I've already started taking notes on revision ideas, but I wanted to go ahead and kind of make a tracking system for myself on paper that can kind of help me stay motivated to get through to the end of this book. Kind of some word bubbles I can like shade in every couple thousand words or whatever. And then I also wanted to just kind of do a writing vlog with you guys and take you along with me as I try to work on at least a quarter of this last portion of part 3. So let's get to writing. Okay, so I wrote some notes of kind of the outline that I have for part 3. This is revision stuff, so you don't need to see that, but kind of the outlines I have for what I'd like to do with part 3, the ending. And then I made some bubbles. I made 10 of them, each of them with kind of a 2K inside of them, and I will highlight them when I write that many words. So if I fill in all of these, that'll be another 20,000 words, which I think would get me in a really good spot for being in a position to go back and revise. I think some of those 20,000 words probably won't make it to the final cut, and whatever I delete will probably get added back in other areas and then rewritten after revision gets going. So I know that these 20,000 aren't necessarily like, they don't need to be my perfect best work. They just need to be something I can work with. So I'm gonna now start writing and hopefully get some good progress done. So I shifted away from the window so I could lean up against pillows and kind of write, but it's going pretty good. I am kind of in this spot where like I know that I'm not gonna love what I'm writing in the long run, and it probably won't end up staying in the book, but word count is word count, and that's what I'm going for right now. So working on chapter 25 and trying to kind of build the plot up to the point where I know how I want it to flow. So once I get through these like tough scenes where things are kind of sticking in my brain, I feel like I'll be able to write the ending really well and feel confident about it, and then later be able to go back and revise those rough transition scenes and probably add more depth in them as well. But wanted to show you my new setup. Finished my coffee, so that's sitting over there, but I've got my water, my candle, and I'm listening to none other than the Fellowship of the Ring soundtrack, because what is better than the Lord of the Rings soundtrack for some writing inspiration? So I'll check back in a little bit, hopefully after I've finished a few chapters. My goal of at least 70, and then I know I can add more to that upon revision, like I was talking about earlier. So hopefully with revising and adding things in, I can get a little closer to that 80K word count. But I think if I have 70 in the first draft, then I should be able to do what I need to hit my entire word goal as I go. I do want to kind of preface that I'm trying to not let word count drive the story. I would like to feel like the story is cohesive, so I don't want to write just to write if it's not good prose and if it's not building towards the ultimate narrative of the story. But at the same time, I don't want to lose depth or feel like there's not enough meat to the story. So right now, I'm going to try to just focus on telling the story, and then I'll go back and see where I'm at after a little while. So it would be great if I could, I mean, it's only 5 o'clock right now, so I still have some time in the day. Definitely could get through quite a bit more if I spend a few more hours on this. So it'd be great if I could hit 60,000 words today and feel like that gives me a good pushing off point for the wrapping up of the book. But we'll see where I get in the next few hours, and I'll check back in soon. I've written about 3,000 words since I last checked in. It's been a few hours, so that's about 14 or 15 pages that I've written, which is great. I'm at 260 pages now, 56,000 words. And I'm feeling good about it. I ended up kind of abandoning where I was at in the story and just pressing ahead to kind of what I could visualize. So kind of writing in islands. So I'm currently writing the end of the book, or kind of the closing scenes I had in mind for the end. And I'm hoping that once I get through this, and then maybe even just when I'm in revision, I'll be able to connect the dots and make the story all more streamlined between the two. But I just am following my intuition. Right now it feels like I know the end of the book, what I want it to do. I know that I can go back and change it later, but my mind is so strongly wanting to go to the beginning parts of the book and the middle parts of the book and add and change and rewrite that I feel like I just need to wrap up the story. And not to say like write it shorter than it will be. I'm not wrapping it up in an abbreviated way. But I need to almost like put a close on it in my mind so that way I can reopen it at the right time. But I'm just so eager to go in and make the revisions that are in my mind for the first two parts that I feel like once I do that, it will lead me to such a strong place for finishing and doing final edits and revising the last part of the story. So the other thing that I'm like questioning altogether right now is my part 1 is 12 chapters long. My part 2 is 12 chapters long. My part 3 is not going to be 12 chapters long. At the most, it will be 5 to 7 or something like that. So then part of me is wondering if I should break up the parts differently, if I don't need them to all be even, if I just make part 3 into part 2 and it just is longer. I'm sure as I go through revisions, there's going to be chapters that I realize can go together and don't need to be 2 separate chapters. So then I just have some longer ones in there. So there's a lot of kind of restructuring that I know is going to happen when I go into revision anyway. So I'm trying not to like dwell on that too much right now. But anyway, that's where my brain is at right now. It feels like a scattered mess and yet organized at the same time. But I will keep you guys in the loop with how the rest of the day goes. I would love it if I could get another 4,000 words in today and hit 60,000. That would feel super great. Part of me just wants to like finish writing this story, whatever word count I'm at is fine, and then see where I'm at with revision. If upon revision I write another 10, then that's awesome. If I write another 15 and I'm at 75 or 80K, then that would be even better. But I guess we'll just have to see where it ends up. So I had to take a bit of a brain break. I'm starving also, so I am making ramen, which is like obviously the best possible brain food out there. Anyway, yeah, I was super hungry. My husband and I went to the gym this morning, and I came home and had like a protein bar, and that was 5 hours ago. So ramen it is. But anyway, I'm also questioning just like if I even need to have parts at all, if it should just be chapters that flow. My husband said I should name my chapters. I just don't feel like I'm in a spot where I feel creative enough to do that right now. Maybe when I'm going through like final stuff, but these are all things I don't need to be worrying about right now. That's the stupid thing. It's like, just finish the book and then start to think about these things. But okay, I'll check back in when I'm writing again after I've had some ramen. I just went through the completely unnecessary process of moving everything from a Google Doc over to Vellum per recommendation of just other authors on YouTube. This just seemed like an easier place to format everything, get it all in the same style and everything, and have it all in one spot. The end is still looking very messy because it's not divided up right. So like there's part of chapter 25 that actually is gonna be like chapter 30 or 35 or whatever, because it'll be the end of the book. So anyway, I'm back to writing now. I've gone through my little hiatus of creative mind elsewhere, of putting it in a different spot, and now that it's in Vellum, I'm just gonna keep writing and see what I can get done. Quite the writing companion you are. Something amazing just happened. I just hit 60,000 words. My total word count so far for the day is 6,951 words, which is kind of crazy. I've never written that much in a day. Almost 7,000 words within, I don't even know. It's been less than 12 hours. I mean, I started at like 12:30 today, maybe 1 o'clock. So it's been, I literally can't even do math because my brain is so fried. 10 hours. So that's crazy. I'm really proud of myself. I feel like this was a huge milestone for me, even though there's a lot about this book. Well, not a lot. I mean, really a lot of one major transition part that's unfinished. But other than that, everyone has to revise after they finish their first draft. But this is a huge milestone. It feels like it's one of many finish lines to cross to get across this book done, but it's probably the biggest finish line that I'll face until final edits come. So I shaded in my bubble on my word count thing. So it's crazy. We started here today and got all the way across the first row. I'm hoping with what my goal is for the rest of the week of being able to go in and add and change and revise, that we can hit the 70K goal and shade in this bottom bubble. And then hopefully upon like final revisions is where I can hit between 75 to 80. So I'll keep you guys in the loop with how it goes, but thank you so much for going alongside me today as I grinded out the rest of this novel and took the first big step towards finishing it. And so I will be posting another video with revisions and kind of the game plan for that, as well as word count as I work through those things. But thanks so much for joining me if you made it this far, and I hope you enjoy my channel and that we can just build a really awesome community here. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video when we come back to this work in progress and start revising.